Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Friends, children, good evening. Welcome for our Saturday Dhamma talk. Today, the faculty of concentration, Samādhi Indriya, and the faculty of wisdom, Paññā Indriya. Among the factors of the 37 enlightenment factors, we have covered the faculties of faith, faculty of energy, and the faculty of mindfulness. Today, the last two faculties, Samādhi and Paññā. Without further ado, let's begin this talk on Samādhi and Paññā. They should be balanced, they should be balancedly developed. For if somebody is to develop Samādhi, forgetting the concentration, forgetting vipassana, wisdom, he will be stuck in the absorption, in the concentration, creating the result that he is being stuck in the samsaric process without getting out of it. Samādhi supports Paññā to arise. Paññā supports Samādhi to maintain. Samādhi, translated usually as concentration. But it is not just concentration that we can derive from this root sam, which gives birth to another term called samatha. You may have heard about this. Samatha as the meditation technique for concentration. Samatha and Samādhi are synonymous terms, both derived, arisen from the root sam, which means to become peaceful. Sam, to become peaceful. So these terms indicates the fact the trepidation or the wavering of the mind is subdued, controlled, surrendered with this practice on the Samādhi or Samatha. Now, there are 7 universal Chaitasikas, mental factors. They are called 7 universals. In Pali, Sabba, Chitta, Sadharana. 7 universals. When I say these Pali words, you no need to remember these Pali words much. Pali is important for chanting. Pali is the language that the Buddhism was recorded, yet it is pointless wasting our time wasting your time remembering the Pali terms which are bound to be alien to you. So focus on the meaning. You understand it. That is important. You understand it. Yeah. Wasting time on the Pali words are good for those people who have time to waste. So learn the meaning, get the meaning, understand it properly. 7 universals, beginning with contact, then feelings, then perceptions, volitions, then comes one-pointedness, then the mental life faculty and the attention. These are the 7 universal mental factors. Why they are called universals? Because for every living being, especially for human being, at the rudimentary level, these factors are in existence. One of the 7 universals is one-pointedness. In Pali it is called ekaggata. One-pointedness. It is there within us originally. We were born with it. What is the nature of this mental faculty? To bring the mind together and fix on a particular selected object. This is the manifestation of one-pointedness. Its characteristic is to avoid the distractions, conglomerate and unite the mind onto a selected particular object. So it is there within us, but it is not considered as a faculty, as Samādhi or as concentration. When one-pointedness, which we originally possess, is developed, intentionally developed, with a continuous practice, with a continuous application, that concentration is to be called a faculty. This concentration faculty could be developed based on the 40 meditation objects that the Buddha has introduced to us. What are they? 10 kasinas. Now kasina is translated, it means whole or totality. It means the object you select out of these 10 can be transformed to radiate, to cover up the entire atmosphere around you. It means can cover up, can spread out throughout the universe. Because of that, these 10 are called kasinas, meaning whole or totality. Kasina. 10 kasinas. Then the 10 foul reflections. It means reflecting on the 10 kinds of foulness related to the dead body. The process of decomposing of the dead body until it becomes dust were objects of meditation for the monks those days. Those days people were much more intelligent than us, as I see. They understood that this body is just a house for the consciousness to live. Once this consciousness is out of the body, out of this house, the house is useless. It is made out of patavi, the solidity, apho, the fluidity, the heat, the tejo, the wind, vayu. Out of these four elements, this body is made. So once the guest is gone out of the body must be gone back to the nature. So they threw that dead body either to a selected cemetery or just to the forest. They just threw it away. Buddha advised, Lord Buddha, the Blessed One, advised his disciples, especially those who were newly ordained, were to go there. They were advised to go there and meditate upon those dead bodies which were slowly decomposing. That process is to observe. There are 10 stages of that decomposition. They were to observe that. It is a part of their practice. Ideal to destroy, reduce the desires on the sensual pleasures. This is the second object. The third one is, now I told you two types of objects for meditation. Dasa kasina, 10 kasinas, dasa asubha, 10 kinds of foulness, dasa anusatiyo, 10 reflections on the triple gem and other things. There are 10 reflections. 4 illimitables, metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. 4 illimitables. Why they are called illimitables? Because when you start radiating metta, there is no limit to it. It is infinite. Karuna, just the same. So love, compassion, altruistic joy and equanimity, one can be practiced upon to the infinite. So they are called illimitables. 4 illimitables. Eka sanya, 1 perception. Ekang bhavattanam, 1 analysis. And chattaro arupa, 4 infinite, 4 kinds of objects which one meditate as infinite, as formless. Now these are the 40 objects of meditation that the Buddha suggested according to the temperaments of the people, not for all. Now there are temperaments like raga, lustful, dosa, hateful, moha, deluded, saddha, faithful, buddhi, intellectual, vitakka, discursive. These 6 types of temperaments are there basically. Now in some suttas there are more and more introductions of the kinds of temperaments, and according to the temperaments the objects for meditation are given. According to the temperament, not for all. Because if it is fixed, if it is connected to the right temperament, right object is connected, then his meditation is faster. In this meditation, there is another expectation. It is a two-way development, two types or simultaneous development of the two sides. One side is one-pointedness, concentration is developed. With the development of concentration, unknowingly, there is a burning out, a burning of the enemies, the hostilities of concentration. The hostilities or the hostile conditions of our mind for meditation are burnt as your concentration deepens. What are these hostile conditions? They are called Pañca Indriyāni. Pañca, five, nibbāṇa, obstacles, hindrances. These hindrances hinder our development of Samādhi, concentration, based upon any of the objects selected out of the 40 according to our temperament. Kama chanda, sensual desire; vyapada, ill will; tīna midda, sloth and torpor. You practice, you will see how sloth and torpor is powerful and make you fall asleep, stop your meditation totally. Yeah, sloth and torpor, tīna midda, uddacca kukkucca, restlessness and worry; vicikicca, doubt. Now these five hindrances, sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and doubt, worry and restlessness, we call it worry and flurry, and doubt. These five hindrances are subdued, suppressed, controlled as your concentration is developed based on a declared or explained process. It is not a random way that your concentration is developed. It is based on a particular formula of development. It is an organized development, organized on the jhana factors. Jhana we call jhana because of the burning. Because of the burning of the five hindrances, we call these factors jhana. Burning is the meaning. Now, as the five hindrances are burnt, these factors become prominent in us. What are these factors? There are five. Vitakka, vichara, pīti, sukha, ekaggata. Again, these are Pali. Remember the meaning. Vitakka, initial application. You sit down, select a particular object out of the 40 and you start practicing. This is your initial application to the practice. Vitakka. It is like a bird on a branch of a tree. He just flapped his wings so fast before his flight to begin. Before his flight to initiate, he flaps his wings few times very fast. This is the initial application. Initial application. Or a bee rushes to a lotus. Rushes to a lotus, comes to a lotus. This is the initial application of the bead. And then what does he do? He rotate, he circumambulate, he hang around that lotus. Now this is the hanging around on the object, selected object. It is called vichara. Vitakka vichara. Vitakka vichara. No matter whether you start meditating today, you are just a beginner of a meditation. Still, this is what you have to do. Bring your attention, bring your awareness to an object. That is initial application. Then keep that awareness on the object. Though you are a versatile meditator, for so long you have been meditating, still this is what you are doing. Bring your attention to the object and keep your attention there. Simple. Meditation is something simple. It is not complicated thing that we are meditating upon. Yeah. People talk about meditation so much, discuss about it, and brag about it, look down upon those who are not meditating. For something very simple. What they are not doing is continuously practicing. Yeah. Why this focus is important? Because to understand, to comprehend something, you must linger upon your awareness sometime on that object to understand it properly. For example, if you are to understand your breathing, now normal understanding of our breathing is, of course, when the lungs are opening, breaths coming in. When they are closing, the air goes out. That's our normal understanding of the breathing. Yeah, not that the nose is breathing, but it is the opening and closing of our lungs. But when somebody is continuously, repeatedly, attentively watching this breathing for so long, he will find all sorts of varieties in the breathing. All sorts of diversities there. Yeah. Differences are there. All the secrets in this breathing is understood to that person. It is his own personal understanding. Not from a book he learnt this. Personal understanding. So much things to understand on this simple process of breathing. The whole world exterior and the whole world interior is connected with the breathing. He understands it. The secrets he understands about the universe, about the inner world and the outer world is via the simple process of breathing. He concentrates upon it, he understands it. For example, you draw a man's portrait. A man is sitting there. You draw his picture. Now, how many modes of pictures you can draw, you can paint on a single man? He has different moods. He has different postures. He has different way of behavior. Everything is different, one angle to another angle. How many photos you can draw on one singular individual. If you focus upon, but of course at a singular given moment, you can draw only one picture, not hundreds of them. There are hundreds of photos, hundreds of pictures, but at a singular moment, only one. That is the one-pointedness. This is bringing the mind to the singularity. And when you are bringing this mind, the process is already laid out by the Lord Buddha, by our master, by our teacher. He says, the first one is bring your mind to the object. That is vitakka. Keep your mind on the object, vichara, as long as it is possible. Longer you keep, longer will be your experiences of the object. And when you are practicing on this vitakka vichara, initial application, sustained application, unknowingly arise in you piti sukha. Piti sukha arise in you. Piti is zest, basically physical lightness. You will find your body is so light, the heaviness gone. Piti arise. Then the sukha, mental happiness arise. One day a philosopher showing the Buddha's image under a tree, he exclaimed, look at this prince. He is a prince wearing a beggar's cloth. He has nothing. Now he is just sitting under a tree. Look at this prince in the beggar's cloth. Why he said this is beggar's cloth for the Buddha's robe? Because it is worthless, financially valueless, made out of collected pieces of cloth from the garbage bin, from the cemeteries, thrown away pieces of cloth, collected and made this garment just to cover up his body. And he just has a begging bowl with him to survive. Tomorrow, whether he is going to have food or not, he doesn't know. Tomorrow is completely out of any guess, any planning for him. Then this philosopher says, he is the happiest man in the world. He is the happiest one. How he can become the happiest one when he has nothing? He is the happiest one because he is in the present moment. He is absolutely, totally in the present moment. He does not have any worries, any regrets about the past. He doesn't have any dreams, any plannings for the future. He is totally, absolutely in the present moment. Ekaggata, his mind is one-pointed. That is to the present moment. When he sits upright, he says, I keep my mind in front. What does it mean when he says, I keep my mind in front? That is how in the suttas you can find. Yeah, I keep my mind in front. It means he is keeping his mind on the breathing. The breathing. The breathing is happening in the present moment. You are not to reflect about or think about the breathing that you took yesterday. You are just to observe the flow of this natural breath is going in and coming out on its own accord, as it wish, as your body wish, as your body feel enough, it takes enough breath and it puts out that breath. He is just observing. This is how Buddha lived. So this philosopher says, this is the happiest man in the world. And Buddha is the happiest one. He is telling us, you practice on this. Select an object from the 40 objects I have given to you, according to your temperament, whether you are a character which is rāgika, that means attached to sensual pleasures, angry character, or a deluded one, or faithful one, intellectual one, discursive one, whatever your character is, there is a suitable object for you there among these 40. Select one, then start your practice. You bring your focus on the selected object, keep your focus there. Initial application, sustained application. Then, as the time passing by, unprecedented happiness, physically and mentally, you will experience piti sukha. And of course, the last factor of jhana is concentration, ekaggata. So these are the 5 factors of the first jhana. Vitakka, initial application. Vichara, sustained application. Piti, zest. Sukha, happiness. Ekaggata, one-pointedness. As you are continuously practicing, you may not need initial application, sustained application. Then also you will find the evanescent, changing, impermanent nature of physical happiness and mental happiness also. So likewise, you will get rid of these gross level of mental factors, jhana factors, and go to the subtle levels. And when you develop, now there are 8 kinds of jhanas, 4 in the fine material level, 4 in the immaterial level. 4 fine material levels are the ones we just began. Vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. That is the first jhana, first absorption. Second one is vitakka, vichara gone. Piti, sukha, ekaggata. Third one, piti, physical happiness given up. Sukha, ekaggata. Third jhana. Fourth jhana, sukha also given up. Instead of sukha, upekha, equanimity is observed, because all the feelings are impermanent. Then he is into the equanimity, that intermediate level. Everything is changing. Why should I be attached to? Equanimity. So, fourth jhana is upekha ekaggata. After that, from the fine material, from the rupavachara level, he develops to the immaterial level. Yeah, immaterial, akasananchayatana. That is the observing the infinite nature in the space. One day I will explain to you how this process going on. This explained very clearly. How can one move from the fine material, rupavachara, to immaterial? But today just remember, the 8 absorptions, first 4 just now explained. The second 4 begins with the infinite space, observing, concentrating upon the infinitude of the space. I was explaining that when somebody practices on vipassana, Vipassana means vividākārato dassana, observing in different angles, not just from one angle, not just from one aspect, but from all diverse aspects. You observe a particular object, then you get the clear picture of it. So vividākārato dassana, observing from different angles, is vipassana. With the wisdom, one understands the true nature, true characteristics. Everything momentary. Now, some meditators, meditation masters, they say it is the choiceless awareness. Choiceless awareness, that one focus upon the true characteristics as they are appearing. Now, they don't have any selection what kind of object they are to observe. Whatever object, a sound that they hear, an appearance of someone or something, a feeling that they feel, a taste of a food they eat, a smell they feel. Whatever the object is, they look at them in the same truth. That truth is that this is impermanent. This is changing. When they observe it, they see that it is changing. Not that they think this is changing to something. Not that they impose the impermanence on something. When they observe, they see that it is changing. That's the only thing they see. And they understand, now this is changing. Now, what is the point of me trying to grasp this? What is the point for me to catch this, hold on to, say my, this is my, because it is changing. If I try to say this is my, then I am in trouble, because only what I will get is suffering. It is suffering not because of the nature. If I am to be with the nature as it is, I am not contradicting with the nature. I am not in clash with the nature. Our problem is we are in a clash, in a struggle with the nature. The nature is that everything is changing. One moment you are basking in praise, glory, happiness. You are so happy, you want this to be forever. I want to be happy like this forever. That's what you think. And in another moment, the opposite happens. Somebody scold you, somebody defame you, somebody says something bad about you. Now you are falling down to the earth. That glory, that happiness all gone. Now you are suffering. You are suffering not because of the blame happening to you now. You are not suffering because of the changing of the situation. You are suffering because you tried to grasp onto the nice situation, beautiful situation. You try to hold on to. You try to keep it yourself. You are suffering because of your clash with the nature. If you understood, okay, everything is happening beautiful now, but this is changing. This is not going to be forever. Next moment, things can go opposite. things can take a U-turn. If you are to observe what is happening as something impermanent, something changing, you are not grasping it. You are not holding on to it. Then when it changes, you are not suffering also. So then you are not in a clash with the nature, but you are flowing with the nature. I think you understand this. In Vipassana meditation, we do not apply the word. Apply words, okay, this is impermanent, this is suffering, this is not myself. No, we are not doing that. We are just try to observe it as it is. Not as it appears to be, but as it is. When you observe something as it is, Buddha says, you will see only one nature, changing nature. Don't clash with it. Don't fight with it. Flow with it. Go along with this nature. Then you are not grasping, you are not craving for the things changing. Because you know, if you are craving for the things that are changing, you are suffering. This is wisdom. This is bringing the light to the darkness. This is removing your cataract so you can see the reality as it is. This is putting on glasses to your half blindness. Because our mind is capable of feeling the truth. Our mind is capable of feeling the truth when it is happening. But since our mind is involved with so much of philosophy, so much of thinking, though mind feels it, it is like not so sure. We doubt about it. We argue about it. We rationalize it. We don't trust the feeling of the mind. We are correct. We are right not to trust the feeling of the mind. Why? Our mind has gone far away from the home, from the reality, from the truth. And it is living there in a dream world. It is like an eyes with cataracts. Though the eyes can see, it is always half. There is no complete vision with this cataract. So it has to be removed. The cataract must be removed. And that removal happens with wisdom. By and by. You observe the things are happening. Observe them as they are, impermanent, changing, suffering if I try to hold on to this changing. And since they are impermanent and changing, there is nothing to say, my oh mine. This understanding leads one day to understand the life as it is. That life is misery, dukkha satya. The cause of life to become misery is samudaya satya. That is craving. Craving is the cause. And how to get rid of this cause of suffering? Nirodha satya. Getting rid of the cause of suffering, nirodha satya. And the path to get rid of the cause of suffering, magga satya. This, the truth, the cause of the truth, removal of the cause, the path to remove the cause, the Four Noble Truths, will be revealed to that person as not a knowledge, but his own understanding, but his own realization. That is the pinnacle of the development of faculty of wisdom. Alright? So this is the finale of our explanation on the actually five faculties. The faculty of Saddhā, faith or confidence. Faculty of Viriya, energy. Faculty of Sati, mindfulness. We explained in 3 talks these triple faculties. Today we explained the last 2 faculties, the faculty of concentration, Samādhi, and the faculty of wisdom, Paññā. So with this, let's conclude this talk. Please join with us on Saturdays 6 to 7. Join with us and try to learn something, enjoy this Dhamma. If you have any questions, you can put on in the YouTube or Facebook, whatever, via you are watching this, you are listening to this talk. You can post your questions. As we get the time, we will explain. We will give answers to those questions. Of course, if only you care about learning some Dhamma. Okay? With that, we conclude this Dhamma talk. Let's share all these merits. By enjoying this Dhamma, by sharing this Dhamma that we generated in our hearts, we rejoiced with the departed ones as well as the divine beings. Let's share our merits. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu loka sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu loka sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu loka sāsanam. Idaṃ me ñātinaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idaṃ me ñātinaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idaṃ me ñātinaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Blessings for you. Dukkha roga bhaya vera soka sabbe upaddava anekāntarāyāpi vinassantu ca tejasa jaya siddhi dhanam labhaṃ sattva bhāgyaṃ sukham balaṃ siriyāyu ca vanno ca bhogaṃ uddhi ca yasava satavassa ca ayu ca jiva siddhi bhavantu te ayurārogya sampatti sagga sampatti meva ca ato nibbāṇa sampatti iminate samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.